Joining me now is the reigning 2022 PFL welterweight champion and current 2023 semifinalist. He is Sadibou Sy. Sadibou, we are deep in this PFL season, man. How you holding up?
Man, I'm doing great. Thank you for the introduction. And I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. And we were just before we hit record, actually, we were just talking a little soccer, a little Manchester
Yeah,
United.
yeah.
Man, what about like have you ever done like the Ronaldo C celebration, man? I feel like
Ah,
you hit the big, you get the big knockout, man. You just walk off with a big C. I feel like that you're missing something, man. I feel like that's a big one.
I haven't done that yet. I just might try it and see if that's something that's for me.
Hey man, get the whole crowd in on it. I can hear it. I can hear it. I feel that for you.
No, that's a good one. That's a very good one, to be honest.
I love it, man. And with one fight with these PFL seasons, one fight kind of leading into the next here.
Yeah.
Do you get much downtime? And if so, what kind of things do you enjoy, outside of fighting that kind of pull your mind away from that daily grind? And just how do you kind of decompress a little bit?
Oof, to be honest, when the season starts, there's not a lot of time in
Yeah,
between. Um, so basically, it's back to back to back to back, and it's grueling, but that's also what separates like the ones that really want it to the ones that kind of want it, if that makes sense. So in between when the season starts, to be honest, everything is based off out of is this gonna make me better for my next fight? Is it gonna help me prepare for my next one or whatever? And after the season, that's when I actually have time to start working on maybe sharpening a couple of tools, new things, working on new things and stuff like that. And like I love to travel. I'm a foodie. I love to eat great food, but that's also something that's very hard when you're
right.
constantly fighting. And for me, I'm not a small welterweight. So yeah, a lot of things that I have to put on hold until after the season.
Absolutely, man. Well, on the fighting side, I think we kind of have to start where you left off, and that was the spinning wheel kick victory over Shane
Yeah,
Mitchell back in June. Before the fight, you predicted that viral knockout. You got it.
yeah,
Beautiful technique. And it looked
yeah,
like you were kind of setting it up and throwing it the whole fight. So just kind of walk me
yeah.
through it. What were you waiting for? Was there a certain reaction out of him that you were looking for? Was this something that you and your team had kind of pinpointed in Mitchell's game that told you that there would be an opening for this kick?
To be honest, it was more so based out of myself, like how I've been feeling throughout the um, after the last season, leading into this season, and my mindset shifted a little bit from now knowing that I can get a victory if I want to now, but now going back to the knockouts, being a little bit more vicious with it and being put some fear in my opponents. So that mindset had to come from within, which it did. And then I just like when I'm in good shape, when we were and I've been preparing like I've been like as soon as I start having fun, that's when the opponents just start looking at the cage door and see like let's try another day.
Sure, absolutely. And were you getting discouraged or frustrated at any point that it wasn't landing? Like, was there ever maybe in your head, like, all right, I got to go to plan B here because I'm just not finding this kick tonight?
Great question. To be honest, I didn't because I was having fun. I was having fun in there,
Yeah.
and that's something that for me has been. It's been a long time since I actually been having fun and not feel the pressure and all the emotion, all the must, just
Yeah.
go in there and enjoy myself. So I actually enjoyed being in there. And when the kick came, because I saw it so clearly before I was visualizing it, and the first emotion was like, finally.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And it did earn you that spot on Sports Center top 10 plays. So congrats on
yeah,
that, man. That's massive. But only good
yeah.
enough for number 8, Sadibou. I mean, what are we
Let's go.
doing? This might be snub of the year, man.
Come on, man. That was like I'm not gonna hate on any of the seven previous, but come on, man. It's a spinning wicked walk up. Like, yeah, yeah, that was yeah.
Hey,
I
Sadibou,
expected it to go higher.
you don't have to hate on him. I will for you. I saw a lot of baseball catches and home runs above
Yeah,
it. We
yeah,
see,
yeah.
happen. It's impressive in its own right, like you said, but we see those on a nightly basis. And
Exactly.
if the year stopped right now, your kick is the mixed martial arts knockout of the year. And honestly, if anything beats it, we're talking some serious, scary stuff. At
That's
this
what
point.
that's what I think as well. But to be honest,
Yeah.
what I like my before, I believe I fought on Friday, and around Sunday I was speaking to the coaches, and we were like, okay, so how do we top this?
Yeah.
So I'm actually, one part of me is happy that he only ended up on top 8 on the top 10, because we just have to do more to end up at the number 1 spot.
Absolutely. I love
Challenge
that.
accepted.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Maybe next time you just call it. I mean, you did it on their network, right? Like you're on ESPN.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
God, next time you got to call that shot. Tell them, let
yep,
them know what you want. You want the number one.
yep, yep,
You are returning back to New York on August 23rd to face
yeah,
Carlos Leao. New York
yeah,
is the same place you won your PFL gold, that $1 million check
yeah,
last season. Is there any
yeah.
added excitement or nostalgia in returning there, or does location just not really matter to you as a fighter?
Like it does, but to be honest, it doesn't add anything in terms of the actual fight. But
Yeah.
it's nice because I'm gonna have friends and family fly in. New York is one of those spots where people actually love to enjoy, so it's easy to get people there close from Sweden as well. So that's fun. But when the cage door shuts down, like doesn't matter if it's Vegas, Atlanta, New York, and also New York is one of my favorite cities. So gonna take a couple of days afterwards to enjoy the victory and start planning for the finals.
And Carlos Leao in the semifinals is pretty familiar for you. You faced him
Yeah,
last year in the semis. You won that night by unanimous decision. He is
yeah,
coming in on 2 back-to-back TKO finishes. But do you
yeah.
see any improvements in his games or changes in his game from the last year that you need to adjust for? Or are you pretty much approaching this fight the same as you did the last one?
To be honest, hard to say. He hasn't been tested as much this season. He was on a 12 fight winning streak before I beat him
Yeah.
last year, and now he's looking like a killer again. Which because I assumed he would look like this because I was in there with him.
Mm.
With that being said, I believe that there was a lot of things in the fight, in our first fight, that I could have done that would have made the fight much easier for me. And so, me and my team, I believe we have an amazing game plan, and I'm really, really, really looking forward to it, because this is gonna be a little bit of a receipt on who's been doing the best homework for the last year.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess I have to ask because the last time you called the viral knockout, any
Yeah.
predictions for this fight or anything that we can expect?
So the thing is that it's a fun thing because I get that question all the time now when I do
Yeah.
interviews with right? So the thing is, like, for me, and that was also the same thing where with my last fight against Shane. Like, I'm not gonna do anything that's not gonna, that's gonna jeopardize me moving forward, right? So first and foremost, get my hand raised. That's the most important thing. Then everything is I'm gonna have to let it come to me. So during fight week and whatever, we'll see what the feeling is and everything. The way training camp has been going and the way and everything has been going, we still have 4 weeks left.
Mm.
Like I think this I'm gonna make it look pretty easy, and it's gonna be pretty bloody in there because of the way our styles collide.
Yeah, and I also want to ask about the matchup on the other side of the bracket, the Magomed Cup Finals. I'm calling it between Magomed
Yeah,
Umalatov and Magomed Karamov. Any
yeah,
preferences for you on who you'd like to see come out of this fight as the victor? You do have a little bit of a history with Magomed Karamov. He has the win
yeah,
over you the last time you guys
yeah.
fought. So is that one that you would like to have back, or does maybe a fresh matchup against Umalatov more interest you right now?
To be honest, I don't even focus about those guys. If it's Magomed Karamov and I get the rematch with him, I'll enjoy that. If it's Umalatov and I get the opportunity to give him his first loss, I'm good with that. So, but like I literally don't focus nothing on those guys. Only time I think about them is actually when like I do like an interview or something like that, and it gets brought up.
Yeah.
So I'm focused. I focus on myself, and I focus on on the fight that I have in front of me, because it's so easy to, just because I beat Carlos last season, start looking past him, and then from there we're not gonna have a final to think about, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you just said you don't want to focus on other people, but I do have to ask about one more, because a couple months ago,
Yeah,
I spoke to PFL's newest welterweight, and that is Cedric Doumbé. And I
yeah,
brought your name up as a potential matchup that I think would really move the needle for fans. I think there'd be a ton of interest. You know, stylistically, that is a fascinating matchup. But what was your
yeah.
reaction to him as being a new addition, another high level striker to the promotion? And how do you think that you would maybe match up against him?
Listen, I love that PFL are making moves, and PFL are like working to always get the best free agents out there. So getting a guy like Cedric Doumbé to our promotion and into my weight division is amazing. Um, to be honest, that only makes me better, because those things motivates me. Um, I haven't seen, to be honest, I haven't seen his MMA fights. I assume it's gonna be good. Yeah, but we just have to wait and see, um, and yeah. So I don't want to speak too soon, because I need to see how his game is, because I know there's a difference from mixed martial arts and kickboxing.
Yeah, for sure. And last
Yeah,
one for me, Sadibou.
yeah,
If at the end of this year you're again last man standing, you got the title on your shoulder, another check in your hand. What
yeah.
is next for Sadibou Sy? You know, do you come back and try to win this thing for a third time next season, or do you maybe sit down with PFL, discuss other options like bigger super fights? You know, how would you kind of perfectly map out the next year or two of your career if you could? Because I'm sure you have a ton of goals and things that you still want to accomplish in the sport.
Great question. To be honest, like I like to see what PFL have planned for me, but the short answer is three is better than two.
Yeah, for sure. I love it.
Yeah,
Hey, I think that's a perfect way to end it, man.
yeah, I think so
I
too.
think
I
that
think
that's
so too.
perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. I love it. That put it on a t-shirt, I think. And I
Yeah.
can say whatever it is, man. I really cannot wait to see it. And remember, you can catch Sadibou Sy in PFL action on August 23rd live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Sadibou, thank you again for your time, and good luck in those semifinals on the 23rd, man. And glory, glory, man United. Enjoy that Dortmund game out there. Had to slip
Appreciate
that
your
in
time.
there.
Yeah, appreciate your time, and thank you so much. I'm looking forward to this. All right, we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you.